Hey guys, Ryan Stileson here. It's 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and we are going to be talking about how to set up your own agent. I've been doing these workshops for probably actually 2.5 years now. And this is the first one that I'm going to be talking about, actually setting up your own agent. So if you are able to join, it'd be great to identify like what workflows that you're trying to automate. I see Nate is actually backstage. For you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Ryan. I'm the founder of DIY AI and also Accelerate Marketing, which is a digital marketing agency that's been around for about 20 years. We've been helping businesses to generate a consistent number of pre-qualified, pre-sold leads for their business, and we help businesses also convert those leads by setting up an AI voice agent that will help answer the phone. I've worked with Nate, who's going to be joining here in a second. He's got a lot of the people that I talk to, a lot of business owners. Are actually agency owners that are trying to help other businesses like my agency is doing to help other businesses like optimize their local service ads and just generate leads, which Nate is one of those agency owners. So I'm looking forward to having him on to see how I can help him to optimize or set up his agent. We started yesterday setting up Claude, and then I gave him some homework, so I want to see where he's at, and then we'll go from there. And if you guys have any questions, you can always go to our website, diyai.ai. You can go to our school community, skool.com/DIYAI. And then you can also call us or text us at 561-861-3238. Let me get Nate going. Nate, what's up? Can you hear me? I think you're muted. Can't hear you. There we go.
Hello?
Yo, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yep.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's going on?
Good.
Awesome.
It's a pleasure being here on the call.
Yeah, glad you're here. I just wanted to, like I kind of briefed you, earlier, on, about what we're going to be doing is what I put in the title and the description, which is just build an AI agent that gets work done for you. You and I have been talking about this for a little while, and I started doing these workshops 2.5 years ago with conversational AI agents, like helping businesses to answer the phone with a conversational AI agent. Now we're at a time where these agents can get things done. They can not only can they answer the phone and respond to text messages and respond to chats on a website, etc., for a business. They can also, you can give them a goal and they can keep working at that goal until they achieve it. We started down that path yesterday by giving you access to the desktop version of Claude. And then I introduced you to what projects are and how they're different from a chat on Claude. And you started paying, or you actually were already paying for the $20 a month plan, and I introduced you to what Claude Cowork is and what skills are, and then what the .md files, the markdown files are. So, right. So you kind of have an understanding about, did you do what I gave you we actually started a new project that had 2 chats in it, and you pin those chats to the top. That those 2 chats, one was to teach you about markdown files, and the other one I think was to teach you generically about like Claude Cowork, right? Nate?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So how's that going?
It's going well. I did set up, there was one of the pins that was like setting up Claude Cowork. So I added some skills like reporting, skills like proposal formulation, connected, my Google Calendar, connected my Google account. And right now, the other task basically was just telling Claude where my situation is. It's asking questions like, what does successful mean to you? The money, what do you guys, where are you at in MRR and where do you guys want to go? How clients come in right now, keeping clients, So I think I'm on that part right there. I've answered 2 of the 6 questions so far.
Okay, so this is good, a good start. So another thing that I introduced you to. Okay, so one of the things and this is a really good takeaway for people that are watching this on the replay is, or watching it live. One of the things that I did, if you want to share your screen, that'd be great. I actually set up a chat where I said, "Hey, ask Nate all the questions that you need to ask Nate in order to have him educate you on his business and what his goals are so that you can help him more effectively." Right? That's basically what we did. So that, I think you're going to show your screen. So that was now just a
Yes,
question.
that's correct.
Basically now
Let me know if you can see my screen, Ryan.
let me see. I can. I can. So let me maximize that. Okay. So I can see your screen now. Okay. So yeah, this is exactly. So it's asking you all of these questions. And so there's the 2 pinned questions there. One was setting up Claude Cowork, and then the other one was basically having Claude ask you questions that would help it understand more about your business. So number 1, the money. Okay, what's your current monthly revenue? What do you actually charge a typical client? What does it cost you to fulfill 1 client per month? What's left over after your expenses each month? What successfully actually means to you? And the reason why the reason why I had you download Whisperflow is because instead of you typing this in, you can just speak it, like voice to text. And it basically you're typing at the speed of talking, which
Yeah.
is
And
gonna.
you know what? I downloaded it too. It's Whisper right here. So I just, when it was trying to connect me to my Gmail, it kept bringing up a 504 error. So I don't know. I'm not sure why it was doing that, but I had downloaded it and trying to get it logged into my Gmail. And every time I was logging into my Gmail, a little error was coming up. So I don't know if that was like a one-time thing.
Okay.
I could show you real quick if you want to, but maybe if that's
Well, I
that's
mean,
beside the point.
just try to launch it. If you can just try to launch it here, that'd be great. Like launch it right now. Yeah. And then you should be able to press like control or function. Like on my computer, it's function. That's what's called a hotkey. So that hotkey is what will allow me to start talking and Whisperflow to start dictating. So what did it launch for you? I don't know if you can hear. Did it launch for you? Maybe it's because you're sharing your screen. I'm not able to. Are you able to hear me? Oh man, I don't know if. Let me. Nate, you're frozen. Maybe I'm frozen. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what's going on here. Okay, Nate's going to be coming back in a second here, hopefully. So, a couple things though. One of the things that he did is he downloaded Whisperflow so that he could dictate what his business is all about. You saw the questions that I set up to have Claude ask him so that Claude could learn more about his business. And by doing that and understanding more about his business, Claude would then be able to help Nate much more effectively in a much more effective way. So if this is the first step in actually getting an AI agent, whether that's Claude Code, Claude Cowork, Codex, which is OpenAI's version, Hermes agent or OpenClaw, any of these agentic tools. The reason why these are most people are using large language models as they're using large language models as just like a prompt. And what you can do now though is you can use these large language models. Nate, can you hear me? You can use
Yes, I think I had too many tabs open and it was causing a delay, a pretty bad.
okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it's good. So, and it was really good, like seeing what you were doing there. I don't know if you can share your screen again. Hopefully, we can get the internet speed up again here, but it would be great. I mean, maybe you might have to increase your, the internet speed that you're using, whatever you have access to there, in order for us to be able to do these workshops, streaming them. But yeah, definitely close out as many tabs. It's either your computer or it's your internet connection. Now, what Nate was doing is, like I was saying, we just created a prompt that said, "Hey, ask Nate all the questions that you would need to get the answers to in order to be able to help him grow his business." And that's it. So literally, you're just prompting the agent to ask the questions so that it can create the .md files, the markdown. That's in MD stands for markdown. So the markdown files are like the memory.md. So memory files. So now what's happening is the agent is no longer just a prompt. It's actually got memory that it can go to have context about Nate's business, so that Nate doesn't have to go and educate the agent about his business every single time that he actually talks to it. So this is going to help Nate a lot. Not only and the other really important thing that Nate did is he connected his other tools like Gmail, like Google Drive, like Zoom. All of these tools are tools that he uses on a daily basis that then will allow him and the agent to work more closely together to get things done, because now the agent has access to the tools that Nate is using every single day in order to give the agent more context on what Nate's doing and the conversations that Nate's having, so the agent can really understand what Nate's doing and also do things to help Nate. Like, for example, if the agent has access to Nate's Gmail and his calendar, the agent can actually help prepare Nate for his meetings the next day by going and doing research on somebody that Nate is potentially meeting with. The agent can also do things like create a daily brief in the morning. I have my agent creating a brief for me every single morning. It prepares that in order to help prepare me for the day based on its access that I've given it to all of my conversations. So it has complete context. It has access to my iMessages. It has access to my Gmail. It has access to my calendar, to my Google Drive, to my granola notes, to my Google Meet. It has access to everything that I can possibly give it access to, so that it can give me the most assistance that I could possibly ask for. If the agent had the more context, the more insight that the agent has about what I'm doing in my everyday life, the more understanding it can have to actually help me to do the things that I want it to help me do. So that's really the key. So that's what we've done for you, Nate, already, is we've given the agent access to the tools that you use on a daily basis. I would continue to give Claude access to all those tools. I would continue to build out these memory files, these .md files, so that the agent understands more about what your goals are, what you're doing, how you're doing it. If it understands the context and it's got access to your tools, now all you got to do is just give it a goal and it can go and actually achieve those goals for you. So this is really what I mean when what this is what other people mean when they say giving these agents a, a not only a brain, which is the .md files, but also giving the agents agency, meaning the ability to be able to act on your behalf. Not right off the bat. I was telling Nate, I was suggesting to Nate is you give the agent access to your email and give it its own email so that it can actually do things on its own on behalf of you. So when it sends an email, it'll say, and you've received some of these emails from Mac, which is my agent. Max has got its own email, which is max@diyai.ai, and it'll send emails every once in a while, and it'll say, "This is an email sent on behalf of Ryan from Max," and it'll send that so that people understand that this is actually an email that's coming from Max on my behalf, and so this is really the beginning. I mean,
No,
this
that's so cool.
yeah. The more that you can build out this .md file, I'm continually building this out. The more understanding it'll have of what you're doing. The next step is to give your computer 24-hour access to the agent, or rather give your agent access to a 24-hour computer that's always on, so that it can do things eventually like identifying businesses that can use your services. It can actually do the hard work for you that you now are spending thousands of dollars to have done. It can go out and do prospecting for you by going and identifying businesses, for example, for Google local service ads that maybe have a Google local service ads page, but don't have a local service, but don't have a local service ads page. Does that make sense? So I'm going to add you here. Yeah, your phone might be better, actually. There you go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me, Nate? I don't know if you can you hear me or no?
Can you?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but can you hear me? Hello? Yo. Can you hear me? Close. I don't know. Can you hear me? There you go. Hello? Can you hear me? Anyway, so that's how these AI agents work, and you can use different harnesses. A harness is just like you would use a harness to control where a horse goes, or a harness to control something, whatever it is. You steer the horse in a certain direction by moving the harness in one direction or another. That's what a harness is. It directs the large language model in the direction that you want it to go. And a harness would be, for example, Codex. It would be Claude. It would be any of these, Hermes agent. It would be OpenClaw. These are all harnesses. A harness, also a part of your harness would be the skills that you give your agent. These are all the context and that the agent has that make up the harness that steer the agent in the direction that you want it to go. So building the skills from scratch by actually giving or communicating with the agent about what it is that you want it to do is the best way to actually start using these agents to get things done. what I would suggest is that you just communicate with the agent about what it is that you want it to do, and then you give it what's called a cron job, which is a cron job is just it's a chronological. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was a headache. That was a nightmare. I'm so sorry. I know you're live. For everybody watching, please, I apologize.
No, it's okay. We were just going over cron jobs as a learning lesson is what they are, because I was talking about skills, which I told you about yesterday, which is basically just a prompt. That's a permanent prompt that you can combine with the cron job in order to have the agent do things on a continuous loop, so to speak. And so one of the things that I'm having you learn about is what a skill is. You can actually take skills that Claude gives you and pull them into your agent and just have them work. You basically plug them in, and then those are pre-created skills that you would actually use yourself. Or you can give a prompt, and then if the prompt works, then what you can do is you can say, hey, Claude, I want you to create a skill out of this prompt that you just did and make it happen on a regularly scheduled time frame. And that would be a skill that's combined with the cron job. Cron job is just chronological, meaning it's happening in time, like I was telling you yesterday. So you could create a skill and say, hey, I want this skill to be triggered at 5 p.m. on every Friday. So that would be you combining a skill or a prompt that triggers every Friday at 5 p.m. So that's a really powerful way to start using these agents in order to get things done on your behalf. If you have something, for example, that needs to be done, for example, every week or every day, then you want to create what's called a cron job that is done every day at a certain time. And then you would combine that with a skill that you create in order to get that work done so that you can save the hours that I talked about in the title and description of this video. So that's how agents work. I encourage you to jump on like Nate did today. Next week, I'm going to add Nate. You there?
Yeah, the audio on my phone went back off, so please continue.
No, it's all right. That's really it. I mean, I just went over, some of the, all the main topics that we covered yesterday. I'm like we talked about yesterday. Keep going and creating the markdown files. Keep answering the questions that Claude gives you in those two pinned chats that we put to the top there. And the sooner you do that, the sooner that your agent is going to be valuable to you and get things done on your behalf. Now, again, the next concept that I want you to understand is this concept of a cron job, which is just a skill or a prompt that is completed or something that's done on a regularly scheduled basis. So this is where you're going to really start getting a lot of value out of your agent, Nate, is when you combine these skills that you create with your agent, or you get the skills from Claude. You saw those pre-created skills that are already in Claude that you can just download, that are already created for you. Like the skill of there's some sales skills in there. One of them is like creating an agent that can sell. And so you don't have to even create that skill. It's already created for you. I would encourage you, though, to tell Claude to create a skill once you've initiated a prompt that executes the way that you want it to execute. Then you can say, hey, Claude, I want you to make a skill out of this prompt because I want to reuse it on a regular basis. So make a skill out of this prompt that we just went through, or that you just went through. I want to use it on a regular basis. That's basically what a skill is. It's just a prompt that you want to use on a regular basis. So keep that in mind, and then create those MD file, .md files, and then continue to learn more about Claude Cowork. And I would encourage you to use WhisperFlow instead of typing, because you're gonna save so much time by actually just dictating into your computer, kind of like you would use Siri, but much better. I mean, literally, you'll see it's so much better than Siri because it actually corrects what you're saying so that
Yeah,
you
that makes
actually
sense.
yeah. So okay, what other questions do you have? Any other questions?
With the cron job, so that's like for agency owners or just businesses who are doing repetitive tasks, that would really solve that.
Yes. Yeah. If you're doing a repetitive task, this is why I was saying in the description of this video, this could save you like tens of hours each week. If you identify a workflow, and that's why I said everybody come to this workshop with a workflow that you want to hand off. Think of what that workflow is that you have, that you do on a regular basis. Identify the things that you're doing on a regular basis. And what you want to do is identify if there is a plugin or if there's a connection that you can make in order to make it so that you can hand off that thing that you're doing on a regular basis to the agent. Okay. You've got to connect to that. You got to create a connection that would allow the agent to have access to whatever it is that you're doing on a regular basis. And then you've got to create the prompt or the skill, which is just a prompt that you've documented, you formalized, and you're able to use over and over and over again. You want to first create the connection, then you want to create the prompt or the skill to complete it. Once you have identified that prompt will complete it, then you make that a skill, and then you just say, I want this done on a regular basis. And then boom, it's no longer on your plate. The agent's doing it. Now, the next thing to do is to take the agent off of your computer and move it onto a computer that is actually on 24/7. That's the next step, so that it can run 24 hours, 7 days a week and complete those tasks or those workflows for you on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week schedule, as opposed to only when your computer screen's on. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna wrap this up. I know Nate's having some challenges with his audio. So if you guys have any questions, you can go to DIYai.ai. You can go to our school community at school.com/DIYai. You can also text us or call us at 561-861-3238. And we do these every Tuesday at 2:00. And we'll do the same thing next week. If you have any questions on how to set up these workflows, please just text me or message me, or go to our school community and ask me any questions that you have. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.